Hi, everybody. I'm back here with my longtime collaborator, John McBaugh. Say hello, Johnny boy.
Hi, everybody. I have returned.
Do you want me to introduce what we're going to be discussing tonight, John, or do you want to be the one to introduce it?
Well, go for it. Yeah. What are we talking about today?
We are going to be discussing the KOF 15 Season 2 roadmap update, and we are also going to be discussing a wish list for Season 3 if a Season 3 happens.
So, for those that aren't aware, yeah, SNK put out a roadmap on. Let me just check the date on this. And if I'm wrong, I will be probably corrected in comments about that. But they put out a roadmap like
I'd
earlier
say
this
about a
year.
I'd say about a week ago is when they
Yeah, on
put
the
it out.
9th of January, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
On the 9th of January. Correct us if we are wrong on that. But yeah, they put out a roadmap debuting Shingo Yabuki, one of my favorite characters. And I know that's one
You're gonna be
character.
torturing me with that one, I'm pretty sure.
All I'll just have to say is Shingo kick.
Yeah, I'm gonna Shingo kick that up your ass, John.
Well, hey, don't worry. I'll kick it so far up your ass it'll come out of your mouth. But yeah,
And we're also gonna be getting Kim Cap 1 and crossplay in spring.
yeah. So the spring thing for crossplay, that is, I'm gonna say that was the OBT, so the open beta test.
Yep,
So
that's what I'd imagine too.
mhm. But also to go back when Shingo launches on January 17th, that's when we're getting also a pretty much complete rebalance of the game from top
Which
to bottom.
it's gonna be interesting to see, especially that max mode change.
Because you can earn meter now in max mode, which is one big thing. But that's one of the changes I'm liking so far. The another small one, even though it's given the most brief description, they're changing the character select screen.
How are they changing it? I didn't see that particular
No,
update.
that's all it says.
Oh,
That's all it
uh,
says. So I imagine they're just changing the layout just to fit all the new characters and everything with it too.
okay, that makes sense.
So that's probably what we're gonna see. But I'm curious to see what the new layout is. But the biggest thing, like we said, besides like the character select screen changing, how max mode works, it's basically every single character is getting touched. It's touched up or down in this update. So I had a
Touched
quick
up
look,
and touched down sounds so wrong.
but I know it's something you like.
Yeah,
All up and
it
down,
is.
all the way.
Yep. Um,
But
so
go
I
ahead.
know that we're both excited for Shingo and Kim, and I
Yeah.
think that crossplay that needed to happen way sooner than it did.
Like it's something I was hoping for, but it wasn't gonna make launch, sadly. But I'm glad that they're putting it in, and I'm hoping
Me
it
too.
works well because this should
Personally,
also
I feel
be.
like
Go on.
they should have probably put it out with the Team Samurai Showdown update, the crossplay.
To end the year. That would have been one way to do it, definitely.
I
But
think that would have probably kept the install base around for a lot longer because honestly, I don't think the rest of season 2 is going to sell that much DLC.
well, we'll get to that in a minute because I know we have some thoughts to share when it comes to what the roadmap is. But
Mhm.
for crossplay, it would have been nice if they had it at launch. I understand that they probably didn't have time to do it, but it's a better late than never scenario. But this should
Oh,
also hopefully
definitely.
fix the matchmaking as well because I know that's been a sore
Brutal.
point ever since launch for this
Yep.
game. So I'm glad to see like at least the cross-platform thing, and I hope that fixes matchmaking as well, since you'll have pretty much all the pools from all platforms that this game is available on to play with.
Which honestly is going to make organizing tournaments with our Twitch communities so much easier.
Yeah, because you don't have to be like, okay, everybody, we only are playing on PlayStation, or we're only playing this on PC or Xbox. We don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yep.
There
It's kind of
is
like,
one thing I'm curious about though with it.
what's that?
I wonder if they're going to do something like Rainbow Six Siege, where, like, let's say you bought KOF on PlayStation 5 and you bought the DLC, but then you switch over to Xbox, for instance. Do you have to make a profile, and can your profile be linked, and that way you have access to the DLC as well, or are you going to have to buy it all again?
I'd imagine I have to buy it all again, but I hope they go with the linked profile system because that is just way more consumer friendly.
Yeah, because most that do the crossplay thing, by what I've seen, it has like a linked profile system. The only reason I bring up Rainbow Six Siege is because they recently did a thing where, with their newest operation, that all your versions of Siege now combine into like your one main Ubisoft account, and all the things you've earned in terms of like your gun skins, your charms, your operators, those are all now combined into one profile. And if you have duplicates, then you get renown out of it. So I would hope we see the same thing with KOF 15 if they go that route. And if you buy DLC on one platform, you should have access to it on all platforms. But
I
that's more
agree
wishful
that
thinking.
I agree that's how it should work.
I feel like it should work, but we'll see what happens with it because I want to know how the cross-platform play is going to work.
hmm Now that it's going to be platform play, which system are you going to focus your time on? PS5 or PC?
Probably PlayStation 5 with it, but I mean, I have the PC version just in case.
hmm
But I'll probably be PS5. You, PlayStation?
Yeah. I will be picking up KOF 14 though on PC when I get my PC all working.
When you get that up and running, yeah, we'll play some more on PC. Because the thing is, at least the next two reveals that they showed off for the pass are KOF 14 characters, and both of them debuted in KOF 14.
hmm And well, I am a little bit grumpy because I think that they could have chosen some different characters. I'm not as grumpy as I came across, I think, in my
Video.
actual. Yeah. Did you watch that, by the way?
Yes, I did, and let's just say you had things to say.
Yes.
Because I also
I
did
was
the
I
same thing when I made mine. It's just like we both had different takes on these characters.
The thing is, I kind of like Sylvie's new design because it's a lot more toned down, but I'm not expecting to like Pikachu bitch as I've nicknamed her.
Why do you call her that?
Because I heard someone else call her Pikachu, and I find that Pikachu bitch is just a funny term to call a character.
Even though
I mean,
she
let's face it, she does basically just do Thunderbolt and Thundershock.
she has like the thunder, like electricity is her thing. That's
Yes,
definitely for sure. But I can understand why they put Sylvie in here a bit.
I can understand it too because of the Nest connection.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like she's all that popular a character, so I don't really think she's going to sell a lot of DLC, at least not in North America. And I think that this is my big issue with the season 2 DLC is the fact it's not in teams.
hmm Yeah, they're going single entries as well with this one, which is a little bit disappointing. But I have a theory that they're doing this route is because of the other projects that they're working on. So the team that's working on 15 has kind of shrunk down a bit
Yeah, I
because
imagine at this point 15 is a skeleton crew.
it was the same thing with Samurai Showdown
hmm
when they did season 3, I think. But you know, they're still working on it, so I mean, we're probably going to see some more hopefully in the
Oh,
future.
I definitely think we'll see more. Do you think we're gonna get a new boss for the boss rush mode this season?
That's actually something I wanted to discuss because when they showed, remember the trailer they showed at Evil to announce season 2?
Very vaguely, yes.
They showed 7 silhouettes.
I did notice that.
There's only 6.
Ah, that is something I did not notice, and I have the roadmap image up right now.
Yeah, because I rewatched it. I watched it after the video I made, and I remember them showing 7 silhouettes, but why do we only have 6?
Who do you think the boss is going to be for this season?
I have a request, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think if we were to go with the Nest Saga next, Ignis or Chrysalid.
Those are good requests, but who do you actually think we're going to get?
I think it might be Gonitz.
See, I was thinking it might be Krauser.
Krauser, but he's not a boss character in KOF. He's more boss in Fatal Fury.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see that happening. I mean,
Do you want
if
to know why I think it might be Krauser, though?
what's your reasoning though?
Because we know that Gauro 2 is coming.
Mm-hmm.
This might be a good as any way for them to advertise what could be coming in Gauro 2.
That could be an idea, definitely. I feel like their tease for Gauro happened with Team Garo, though.
It probably did, but they could always tease it some more and make
Plus, the other
each
thing
season
in
tease a little bit for what we might expect.
the other thing for the story wise too is will Krauser be in will Krauser be in the new Garo? I mean, if anything, you would tease Kine.
That's true. Actually, I'd love to see Kine or Kane, however the hell you say his name, because I've heard both ways.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see him in KOF 15, actually.
With their mechanics. But
Hmm.
I have a pretty strong feeling he's going to be in Garo too. Because if that promotional image that they showed to reveal the game, to reveal Garo, was any indication, I think he's there. We know Billy's there, and we know Rock's there.
Yes.
But for this roadmap, though, going back to it, yeah, no, Sylvie makes sense because of the Nest connection. But it's also like having replayed Sylvie a little bit, like I understand her playstyle, and it is interesting, and it is a bit of a contrast compared to some of the others on the team on the cast.
Yep. I
But
just find her a bit slow, so
mm-hmm,
I'm not that interested in playing her because well, know my stance on
playstyle,
slow characters.
mm-hmm, they require a
They're
little more
just not
thought.
for they're just not for me.
And that was my thought when playing Najd, because Najd is slow, but I have to relearn how Najd works again, because the idea with Najd is that she's a fan made character.
How so? I am not as familiar with KOF 14 as you are,
As
so.
far as I remember with it, Najd was like I think there was a contest going on where fans make a character and they would implement them into KOF 14, and Najd was that winner.
Okay.
So I'm that's why I'm glad to see both these characters return because they debuted in 14, and I'm excited to see at least Najd get a second chance here.
See, I really wanted Alice to return.
Alice would be a nice fit, but I have a feeling that could happen either season 3 or KOF 16, which I know that's something that will be brought up for discussion.
Yes, just not in this episode.
Yeah.
That's next episode.
Mm-hmm.
So be on the lookout for that, guys.
But yeah, for Najd, like Najd is unique, but also Najd's style kind of fits in with Kukri and Dolores. So if
I
you were
was
to
just
make a
about to
team,
mention that,
yeah, if you were to make a team, you could do those three as a team.
which would be an interesting team.
And then like for Sylvie, you could have the Nest girls team, which is her, Angel, and Kula.
Again, another interesting team.
I imagine they're probably gonna have some special endings for like say those kind of team makeups.
Hmm. I would
So
hope so, because single entry in 14 didn't have endings, if I remember correctly.
yeah, it's been a while since I've seen those, so I can't speak to that myself. They did have some characters did have special interactions with
Hmm.
other characters on the roster. So I imagine we're also gonna see stuff like that here when these characters are in. Like Shingo, we saw as the example with Kyo
And Ash.
and Ash. Yeah, so I wonder if there's gonna be a few more for that. Kim, if we had to guess, I would probably say Terry.
Yeah, Kim will probably get interactions with Terry, I imagine, and probably be Jenny, maybe?
That's possible.
Maybe maybe even Rock?
I don't know about that. I mean, maybe for that if they talk about Kim's kids.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but we'll have to see more because like Kim's not out till the spring for that.
And Sylvie and Najd not until the summer.
Yeah, and yeah, Sylvie first, Nas second. If the
I
list,
actually think we will probably get them on the same day.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I think if anything, Sylvie will be in June, and then Nas will be either
August or
right
September, you
right
think?
after Evo, right after Evo. in August.
Okay.
Like unless they can get Nas ready and then they put her into the game, and then she could be a competitor at Evo. But we'll have to see. But that leaves
Which I think would be the most prudent option because it could really diversify the meta at that point in time.
yeah, it's going to diversify there for sure, and I imagine we're probably also going to get another balance update. I would hope maybe by the end of the year.
I imagine we'll get the balance update in winter.
In winter, yeah, with the last character. Which, speaking of which, those last two silhouettes.
I have no idea on the male character.
I had to think about it for a bit, but I have an idea, and it's kind of the thought that's going around the internet too.
Mm-hmm.
It's Dulon.
That could be interesting.
Because to be fair, like I played Dulon in 2003 and a bit of 13. Dulon has an interesting playstyle, and he is probably one of the more unique additions I've seen, at least when I played KOF at the time. He was a
Yeah.
more unique addition.
I would personally like to see Hein get that position.
Hein?
Yes.
Oh, the butler.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because his story is obviously not done from what we've seen in KOF 14.
Yeah, because he is in 15. Him and Luong.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you do see him, I believe, in the ending for Team Secret Agents.
that's what I meant by his
Yeah,
story is not done.
so we know those two are partnered, so Hein could be there, or Hein could be season 3.
Which do you think is more likely?
Season 3, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, no, like the only reason I also say that it could be Dulon is like if you look at the silhouette itself, at least the character's clothing and the hairstyle, that's not Hein.
Yep. No, it's definitely not, but
Yeah,
I'm saying that,
you would like that to be,
yeah.
but I think Dulon could disrupt things. And then you could also have a classic team from KOF 11 then if Dulon makes the cut.
What would that team be? Because I'm newer to KOF, so I don't know all of the teams that were in every single iteration of the franchise.
That team would be it's Elizabeth, Dulon, and Benimaru. I believe they were team rival in that game. It's either team rival or team Elizabeth.
Hmm.
So you can have that team, but then you could also make a new special team with Ash, Dulon, and Elizabeth.
Which is another interesting one.
That would definitely be one for sure. But we'll have to see. Like, we're probably not going to find out. I will probably bet we're not going to know who these last two are until Evo, because that's probably when
Yeah,
they'll show off who they are and maybe tease season 3. But that last character, though, that's coming out in winter.
I think that's going to be Hanako Shijo, or however you say her last name,
Yeah, that's my thought too. Like, looking at that, I think that is Hanako.
because it has her obvious hat thing and also her most famous pose. So,
Yeah, because the hat thing, maybe, because that's not the first thing I noticed when I looked at that. It was the back, because I thought it looked like she had her backpack on.
I can't really see the backpack in the silhouette that I've got up, but I'm
Hmm.
gonna believe you on that one.
Yeah, because I think it's that, but it's also the pose too. But also Hanako, like Dulon, could be another disruptor because have you played Hanako?
A little bit.
Yeah,
I kind of like her.
because she's a sumo. She's sumo style.
Hmm.
So I've tried Hanako a little bit. Hanako is pretty fun.
She's also got decent speed, so she's
Hmm.
tolerable for me, even though I don't like grapplers too much.
Yeah, and she can cover quite a good bit of ground too. So if those last two are Dulon and Hanako, I think that would be cool
That would be
because
very cool.
this would be like Shingo, the first time we've seen these characters in 3D,
Which is exciting.
and then having them work with KOF 15 systems. Like Dulon's kind of had a little bit of that with 13, but I think they could just let loose. They would just let loose here.
And Hanako obviously has never, to my knowledge, been interacting with the systems akin to 15s.
Yeah, because the last time I believe we saw Hinako was 2003.
Let me take a look on that because
Yeah,
I can look at appearances real quick, as I've
yeah,
got her Wikipedia page up.
yeah. As far if I remember, the last time she was in was 2003 because she teamed up with Malin and Athena, and it was Team High School Girls or something.
Yeah, 2003 was her last appearance.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, if we get Hanako, so if that is Hanako, the last time we saw her was 20 years ago.
Well, she'll have aged beautifully.
Yes, because characters in this franchise just age like nothing.
Yeah, and we have very few mature ones.
Yeah, very few. But you have Vanessa at least for you to fit that bill, and I think
Yep,
Najd is also up there too. But I that's why I like Najd's design.
because she's more mature.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, we could throw a curveball here.
What's your curveball?
What if those last two characters are new characters?
Honestly, I'd love that.
That could be a surprise. I mean, we're going off of our knowledge of existing characters, but I mean, if they were to throw a curveball at us, it would be new characters.
Hmm.
So, I mean, unless there's
If
anything.
we
Go on.
did, if we did get new characters, what would you like to see? Style-wise, I mean.
Not 100% sure on what I would want. All I would want, like I say, in terms of play style, just be fun to play. That's it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not that picky with it. It's just release the character and then I'll get my hands on it and give it a shot.
Here's another curveball. What if they're not SNK characters, these ones? What if they're guest characters from a different franchise?
That could be another possibility too. That would also be cool to see because I mean, Sam Show had two. Sam Show, yeah, had two guest characters in there. You had Warden.
I know Baiken. I
Yep,
don't know the other one.
Biken from Guilty Gear and Warden from For Honor.
Ah,
So no, they actually had three. They had Biken, they had Warden, and then they had a third one, Gong Suli, I believe was her name, and she was the free character for season two.
okay.
So, I mean, guest characters aren't completely off the table, but
If we're doing guest characters, honestly, I would love to see Kokoro from Dead or Alive.
Kokoro, yeah, you would say from DOA. If you had to pick a male character from DOA,
Hayabusa, probably.
he could fit within that for sure. I would say Jan Lee,
Yeah, Jan Lee could work.
because to be fair, I haven't really seen a character in KOF that's akin to like Bruce Lee.
Me either. Which I'm surprised King of Fighters hasn't done before. They have almost every other archetype covered and sometimes have the same archetype covered multiple times.
There's something then, actually going back to a kind of character I'd like to see, maybe that kind of archetype.
That would definitely be really cool. I would love to see them add a Bruce Lee type character. I'd also like to see them add a judo practitioner.
A judo practitioner. So like that's where my pick for say Virtual Fighter comes in. Their judo practitioner there.
You know, he's the only judo practitioner I can think of offhand in fighting games.
There's probably more. It's just it's not coming to mind right now.
Yep. And the thing is, judo is more of a defensive style, so that really opens up a lot of ideas and possibilities in King of Fighters if they do go with judo,
The idea for that I would probably say parry character.
which could be really interesting. Does King of Fighters really have a parry character?
They have characters that have parry moves. So that's probably where I would say that fits the bill.
Who would you say is the closest on the roster right now?
For parries and stuff.
Yeah.
At least the ones that come to mind for me, Kasumi Todo, Elizabeth Blantorch as well. They have
I
pretty
know
good
you really
parries.
want Kasumi to appear in this game.
Yeah, to be fair, like I didn't know a lot about Kasumi, but when I started messing around with her, it's like she is a lot of
A lot of
fun.
fun.
She is very fun to use. So I'd love to see Kasumi return. But
I
if you want
I
to talk
think
guest characters though, you just made me think I would want VF characters.
that would be fun. Sarah would be awesome.
Sarah would be good, but I wouldn't pick Sarah myself. I'd want Pai-chan.
Fuck you and Pai-chan.
Why?
I'm gonna have to boot up Dead or Alive 5 and show you exactly how broken that bitch was.
Which I still need to try that at some point. But I know Pi from VF5, and Pi is just so much fun. But Pi would
In
be
DOA in DOA 5, she had a near infinite combo.
okay.
I mean, you could break out of it, but it was basically
Strict,
you were still at a bad disadvantage when you actually got up.
because she could restart it.
Yep.
Okay. But no, Pi would be one of my picks, and then the other standard one, Akira.
Akira makes sense.
Yeah.
Uh, Akira also uses Kokoro's style, Baji Quan, which I know is not represented in King of Fighters.
And then you could also have interesting interactions with them. Like you could do like Akira and Rio, for example. That would be one for sure. And even
That would
Akira and Kim.
that would be fun. Also, Kokoro would really have fun interactions with Chizuru because they're kind of the same archetype. Not in
Mm-hmm.
terms of fighting style, but in terms of style.
Style itself, yes.
Yeah.
And then like
And personality.
For Pi though, maybe Blue Mary interaction and hmm,
Why would Pi have a interaction with Blue Mary?
I
Their
don't
styles
know.
aren't too similar.
Well, who says it has to be similar styles? It could just be like just a casual conversation. Because look at some
Ah,
of the things that happen in KOF. Like you have Luong talk with Dolores,
that's true.
so it could be stuff like that as examples. But yeah, I would say Akira and Pi would be my picks for guest characters. But then you could go Tekken that route, and I would probably say for me, if it was Tekken, Jun Kazama
If
and
we're
Heihachi
if we're
maybe.
going if we're going Tekken, I would definitely want Asuka.
Asuka.
Yeah.
So
She's my main in Tekken, so
and then your male counterpart.
I don't play any of the male characters.
Okay, then here's one I'd pick actually for a male character. Steve.
Okay, why Steve?
He's a boxer.
Ah, so he'd have some fun interactions with Vanessa then.
Yeah. So you could have an interesting like matchup there for sure, boxer versus boxer, and then just see their difference in style.
Speaking of the balance updates, how much of a buff would you say Vanessa got?
I don't think she did. I think she's the same.
It's just she functions a little differently.
Probably, yeah. There's like some slight differences with her stuff, but I want to get my hands on it, and I know there's gonna be some videos out there showing off like visually what the balance changes are, which I'm going to do a shameless plug for another YouTube channel here. I know Rufelmonger's gonna do it, and I want to see that.
Well, we know that Rufelmonger basically has influenced the style of my channel, and
Hmm.
there's actually some audience crossover. Go figure.
Yeah, so I want to see what he's going to do with it, but I also want
I
to see
definitely
how
want to
these new
see what
characters are gonna
he'll.
fit.
I also want to see what he'll do, and I also want to see how Max is going to cover it because I find I can understand both Rufelmonger and Maximilian Dude's coverage of the changes the easiest
Hmm.
out of any other YouTuber out there.
At least out of them. But I will say
Yeah,
I give props to SNK for at least putting out a visual, like the what they consider the big differences in the patch in the balance update on their YouTube channel, putting a video out for that. I think that's
hmm,
smart, and
that is very smart.
I want to see other developers do that too in the future. So if
As do I.
Capcom, Namco take notes on that.
Definitely.
So
Also, from what I've seen in the patch notes, B Jenny didn't really get changed too much.
she did get nerfed though quite a bit. At least
Eh,
is what it seems like. But again, I want to see the visual representation. I want to see it in action. So we'll have to
From
see
what
what's
I've
up with
read,
that.
though, and from the fact that I actually am a B Jenny main,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't change her game plan too much. It nerfs her damage output just a little bit, and it decreases her speed so marginally it's not really going to affect your bread and butters.
We'll have to see on that because if it does affect speed, it could affect how things link. So you might have to change up timings on that.
Which might suit my style even better because remember, I was struggling with Vanessa when 15 first launched, and she
Mhm.
was at her best at that point.
Yes, frickin' VRT.
Yeah, but I mean, look at how much I was able to get things working with her in just a very short amount of time once those changes were made to her.
Mm-hmm. So that's
Because
something.
it actually benefited my playstyle because there's now more of a buffer between her moves.
Yeah, so it's like it's a little bit slower, but you can at least have more, like you have more opportunities for yourself at that point.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing I'm gonna test back when we get in there too. Because I wanna, at least some of the characters I wanna try for sure are, I want to see what they've done with Chizuru. I also kind of want to see what they've done with Yashiro, but I want to see if they've done anything for Yuri and K-Dash because what they showed for K-Dash's stuff, I'm very excited about that.
I'm actually kind of scared because one of my buddies, Muswa,
Yeah,
he has picked up K Dash and he is already very scary with K Dash.
and but you could see why. Like to me, K-Dash, along with Kim and Yuri, they were the first three characters I learned when playing the King of Fighters franchise. So I want to see them do justice to K-Dash, and it looks like they're doing it now.
Which is definitely understandable. And as you know, Leona, Blue Mary, and Vanessa are kind of the first that
Mm-hmm.
I really started learning with.
And I want to see what they're going to do with them. I don't think they're going to change that much by the looks of things, but I think the biggest ones we need to know is, are they going to improve Ramon? Are they going to improve Billy? Are they going to improve Whip? Because I think they are the most desperate.
Billy was unplayably brutal.
In a
That's how
bad
bad I
way.
found him.
In a
Yeah.
bad way, yeah. So I
I
want to see
don't
what they're going
know
to do.
about Ramon, but I know that our buddy would know a little bit about that. We can
Mm-hmm.
maybe ask him once the balance changes take hold if he's not still burnt out of the game.
Mm-hmm. So we'll find out for that, but yeah, like that's dropping January 17th. So we'll discuss more. Like we'll be playing it then for sure, and then we can see what's up with it there.
Yep.
But
Um,
season 3
do
stuff
you want
though.
to? I was gonna say, do you want to move into the wish lists now?
Yeah, like for season 3 stuff, like there are some things I'm curious about, or like that we I would hope for personally. But I will say right off the bat, I think it's gonna be another. It's gonna be single entrance again.
I think it'll probably be that if we do get a season three, but I really wish they would go back to teams
Mm-hmm. Like I understand
because I feel
singles is easier though.
it is, but I feel like teams is better value for the actual player base.
Mm-hmm. But the one thing with teams, and I know this for sure, is that if you do teams, you have to make it sense story wise. And I feel like that's one of the things that they did here is that they can just throw these characters back into the fray.
Yep, which
No.
is a good thing.
Mm-hmm. So I'm curious to see what they
Um,
do. Like if you
if
had
they
to pick
do,
a
oh,
character,
go ahead.
if you had to pick a character, like who would be your number one pick that you would want?
Melee,
Melee.
melee.
How did I know that was coming?
Yeah, honestly, I if we were gonna make a team base for season three, I have one in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Melee,
Yep.
Kasumi, Alice.
That could be a good team. And yeah, I would definitely see that one. For me, yeah, my number one pick, it's Kasumi Todo.
Yep. And I figured that my team would actually make you happy just for that reason alone.
For that, yeah. So I would be happy. Like Kasumi would be my number one pick for sure.
Hmm.
I would want to see more characters return from, like another character or two return from 14. Like one for me, Zarina.
Zarina seems like a lot of fun. I've never really used her because I got into 14 late,
Mm-hmm.
and by the time I started getting really into the franchise, 15 was already out.
Yeah. Zarina is a fun character to use. I just love her movement and her style. She does kind of remind me of like Eddie and Christy from Tekken. So
Okay.
she kind of fits that, but she has her own like twist on it. So Zarina would be another one for sure.
Do you think she's likely if we do get a season 3?
I would like to hope so, and I know there's fans out there that would want Serena, but if she can't make it into season 3, then I would hope for KOF 16.
You know what? Honestly, for season 3, I kind of want another Gauro preview.
And I know who I would want if you wanted to put another Garo character in there, even though I
Who?
know he's not a very popular choice.
Who's that?
Freeman.
Honestly, Freeman would be fucking cool.
I know Freeman is not a very popular choice for some, but Freeman, I like his kind of playstyle. He reminds
It's
me of
very.
Iori.
I was just
Claw
about to
Iori.
say, he does remind me of Iori, and I think that would make for a fun interaction.
Yeah, that way you can have okay, you can throw shade at this and chat and comments and everything. Emo boy against emo boy.
Yeah, pretty much.
But no, I think
And
Freeman would be
also mad
nice.
laughing contest.
Yes. But no, Freeman definitely I would say would be one I would love to have. If you want to have another Gato representation.
Yep.
Or Butt.
Yes, I would like Mr. Butt to make an appearance. I mean, he already appears in the Gauro ending,
Mm-hmm. He appears
but
in the
as Marco Rodriguez, sadly,
well, okay, so we can't call him Butt anymore, so it's officially Marco Rodriguez.
which disappoints me.
Although next time we play Goro, we're doing Butt versus Dong, right?
Yep,
Okay.
that's always going to be a thing.
Okay.
Though I would
At
love it
least
if they
once.
could let. I would love it though if SNK in Gauro 2
Mm-hmm.
lets you choose either Kushnud Butt or Marco Rodriguez. Make it be like an alter ego thing, because Koei Tecmo did do that with Dead or Alive 5.
With what character?
Bass,
Okay. I
because he's either
Bass.
Mr. Strong
Yep.
or Bass.
One or the other.
Yeah, depends on the costume you're using.
Oh, really? Okay.
So they could do that with Mr. Butt.
If you were to do a costume idea thing, there's one character that needs that, and that's King of Dinosaur.
Yes, to get Tizok.
To get Tizok there, yes.
Which honestly, if they included Tizok, I'd be down for that, even though I can't play him for shit.
Yeah, I would like to see that, but I think Tizok, because Tizok and Dinosaur almost play the same.
Now imagine if they did that and had a Tizok versus Dinosaur
You have
matchup.
to have at least an interaction there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
If they
That
don't,
would be
that's
a
a
very
missed
funny.
opportunity.
That would be a funny interaction too.
It would be an interesting one. But yeah, like for Garo, they could do a tease for that. I would say if anything, like besides what we were talking about earlier, include like having guest characters from other franchises outside of SNK. I think
Yep,
season 3, if anything, should dig more into SNK lore and like go with other SNK franchises. I know a big request, a Metal Slug character.
I would love that. Just because I'm becoming more and more of an SNK fanboy, so more and more SNK lore. Yeah, feed it to me.
Yeah, I would say like dig more into SNK stuff. Like include a character from Metal Slug. I know Theo would probably be the pick because I believe Theo was in Maximum Impact, one of the Maximum Impact games.
Okay,
Like there's another one. Throw in characters from KOF Maximum Impact. I know
which
people would want Alba and Swari in this game.
that would be really cool. And honestly, I would love if the Maximum Impact games got a remaster of some type, just so that people can play them on modern hardware.
Mm-hmm. Another
But then again, I really love accessibility to older games that just don't have accessibility anymore. Really.
mm-hmm. Like at least make it out there for people since it's always good to dig back and see that older stuff.
Also, John, I
Mm-hmm.
just thought of another podcast we could record whenever you're free.
Mm-hmm.
SNK franchises we want to return now that SNK is moving out of just being the fighting game developer.
That would definitely be. There are a couple of ideas that could come with that, and we know they're working on some stuff. So I'd
Yep,
like to see some of those things come to fruition, or at least go into greater detail. But I think
as would I.
another idea for season 3 is I think SNK should take a page out of Capcom and
Okay,
do what they did for season 5 of Street Fighter 5.
which is
The last character they introduced in season 5 was Luke.
yes,
And
I would love that.
Luke was the tease for what Street Fighter 6 would potentially be.
Mm-hmm.
What I would
I would,
say, yeah, do that. Put in a character that could be a potential tease for KOF 16.
which I would love because in a previous video, you probably remember this video. It's one of my earliest. I actually said that in future dream matches, I would love like for the final season of the pre-dream match game, have like 4 characters, maybe 3 from the upcoming next KOF game, and give us a tease into some of the mechanics.
Yeah, maybe not mechanics, but like if they can do that, that would be awesome. But yeah, definitely tease into like the next installment. What is your plan? What do you want us to see, or at least give us an idea for, right?
Yep.
Actually, I know one that could probably make people lose their shit
What's that?
if they were to do a team sports team.
Okay. Yes, I would really, really like that because then make they could keep the joke going.
They could, yeah, because it's just like, look, they brought back K49.
Yep. By the way, who beat up the sports team for 15 to steal their entry? Do you know?
Oh, who beat up the this? It was in '97 that happened.
Yeah, but I thought that the ongoing joke was that it happens every single tournament.
Not that I've heard of, but if it does, then I missed out on it. Like the only reason I know for story stuff was in '97 for sure, because
Okay, because
they were supposed to be
be,
there.
because Shoryu Gaming covered that in his video on
Hmm.
the American sports team, and he noted that like every single game they always get beat up and someone steals their
If that's the
entries.
case, I'd
That
like to know who.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, but I would say the only one I know of for sure, like at least story wise, was '97. Because they got beat up by the New Faces team or the Orochi team here in KOF 15, just
Yep.
because Yashiro wanted to get revenge on red hair guy.
Yep.
So,
I really love playing red-haired guy now.
and I think Iori's gonna see some big wins now here.
He's potentially going to be added to my team just as
Yeah.
a fun little play around.
Iori is definitely a fun one. Like I honestly, between like Iori and Kyo, I would rather play Iori more than Kyo. But if they
Same.
brought Kyo back, because I just can't do Kyo's moves like effectively enough. But if they brought Kyo back like he was in KOF 13, or even the Kusanagi clone from 2002,
Yep.
I prefer that version of Kyo.
I can't really comment as I've just never had an interest in really playing Kyo.
Hmm.
But I have noticed something. I really like Rekka-based fighters.
So I mean, which you should take a look then at Kyo because Kyo is Rekka based.
Mm-hmm.
Iori has like one move that is Rekka. I know that.
Yep. Well, the thing is, I know Melee is very Rekka-based, and you've seen how well I've taken to her.
Mm-hmm. Because yeah, Melee and yeah, she is also more of a stance-based character too, just because of the switch between normal moves and hero moves.
Mm-hmm.
So they could incorporate that, but we have to
And
see
I
what they
have an
do.
idea on how to fix stance characters to make them easier for players to use. That'll be a video that's upcoming.
Yeah, I know you said you were going to be talking about something about that in the future, so
Yep. Be on the lookout for that.
But yeah, like at least in terms of what there is for season 3, like wish list wise, I would say those are some characters I'd like. Another thing would be just like what they're doing for season 2, do a complete rebalance of
Yep.
everything. Do another
I feel
rebalance
like
for sure.
every season should have rebalances, to be honest.
Yeah, like the only question is how often should they be? I feel like at least for this year for season 2, January, and then I would probably say after Evo.
Yep, I
Either
agree with
after
that.
Evo, either after Evo or the month before Evo
Agreed.
for that.
Um, One thing I'd like to see in season 3 is a ton of boss rush characters added in.
More boss rush modes. Actually, this is a request I not just for season 3, but I just wanted in general. More stages.
Yes, please.
More
Dear
stages,
God.
please. As much as I love the stage arenas in this, we need some more. Can you at
Yep,
least get us some? Can we please have some? Even at least one or two would be fine.
yep.
And
Again, you're touching on another video I'm working on, the importance of stage diversity.
at least they are supporting DJ Station here for KOF 15, and it's nice to dig back and like have other tracks being played. I thought
Yep,
that was
that
a
is a
nice
nice
touch.
feature.
I thought that
That
was
is
a
a
nice
nice
touch.
feature. Sometimes I just boot up the game to put on different music.
Let's just listen to some tunes, and the
Yeah,
fact that you can actually do it during matches too, which is not is nice as well.
it is very nice. So is there anything else you want to see added to the wish lists, John?
Besides like characters and then like refinements and stuff, I think if anything, the other idea would be just keep improve. Is this is just a consistent thing? Keep improving the netcode.
Yep, I'd like that too. Also, I'd like to see them add in a proper time attack mode and a proper survival mode.
Mm-hmm.
Just,
Of
give us a little bit more single player content.
just a little bit more, but I hope they are taking single player stuff into consideration when they're making the next Gero, because I think that's going to be somewhat crucial.
They've
Because
already said that it's going to have a heavy focus on single player content, so I'm happy about that.
yeah, because I feel like they've nailed like multiplayer with with 15, and the fact that they're retrofitting this rollback in this netcode at least in the Samurai Showdown shows that they're confident with it.
Yep. Which is a great thing.
Which I'm gonna have to give shout out Code Mystics. They're the ones that actually helped them with their netcode, and they are also the ones that retrofitted to like King of Fighters 2002 and 98 Ultimate and 98 as
And
well,
Garo.
and Garo. Which, fun fact for those that don't know, Code Mystics is actually based in Vancouver.
I did know that, and I
Yeah.
thought that was pretty neat.
So
I'd love
Canadian
to see Code.
developers.
Yes, I would love to see Code Mystics, by the way, take on their own fighting game at some point.
It would be cool if they have the capability to do it. I would be down for that. And I would hope that again they continue on with the netcode, like with their netcode improvements, not only into Gauro 2, but for anything else that they put into the future. I think that's
Yep.
important.
Yep, me too.
But yeah, no, I
Okay, I
think that's
think
pretty
that
much what I
we've
got.
yeah, I think we've covered everything that we can for this KOF 15 video. So John, where can people find you if they want to keep up with you?
Yeah. If you guys want to keep in touch or just check out what I got, I do have a Twitter feed. It's twitter.com/John McBon. I also have a YouTube as well, which is youtube.com at John slash at forward slash at John McBon. And I also stream on Twitch as well. Same username. I finally got it consistent with one username, which is nice. So feel free to check me out there. We do play a bunch of stuff, not just fighting games. We also do shooters, RPGs, and just try to keep it chill and relaxed besides getting frustrated and swearing like a motherfucker sometimes.
And I do
Leafer
try to
knows
incite you, and I do try to incite the swearing because it's funny.
that, and we also try to swear like what sexual innuendos too.
Yep, but that's more me. That's more a me thing, and you try to draw that out of me.
Yes, it's just like let's just keep running with this without getting us into trouble. But if you guys want to check me out there, please do. Your feedback and support means a lot. It is truly appreciated.
And links to my socials will be in the description below. Thank you for checking out this podcast. If you want to see another episode of the podcast, one of them will be popping up now, as will a video that YouTube thinks you'll really like. Have a good one, guys, and keep blazing that trail.